name is Jacqueline Firkins, and I'm the author of Marlowe Banks, Redesigned, releasing on October 25th with St. Martin's Press. And it's about a costume designer who flees her life in New York City, where she just had a critical disaster of a show, her relationship broke up, and she's sort of running away to look for something new and kind of hide on the other coast. And while she's there working on the television show, she reinvents herself, reignites her passions, makes new friends, and of course, falls in love. So I am 100% a plotter. I outline everything, and I actually start at the end of a book or the end of a plot, and I work my way forward. So I sort of think of it like a slingshot. Where do I want a story to end? And then I pull it back as far as I can. So how is somebody about as far as they could get from where they will end up at the end of the book in terms of career, in terms of love life, in terms of sense of self. And then I kind of work my way between the 2 points, sometimes working both directions and meeting in the middle. But I always write toward a specific ending. So describing Marlowe Banks in 3 words, I would describe her as ambitious, even though she's let her ambitions get buried a little bit. I describe her as dedicated. She's dedicated to her friendships, her relationships, her work, the kinds of stories she wants to tell. And I describe her as conflicted. I think she is in a place that is a little bit lost. In some ways, it's kind of a re-coming of age story, a re-figuring out who you are, based on the things that you liked and didn't like about what's come before and what you want to change moving forward. So a lot of the book is based around experience I have working in television and film and living in Los Angeles, but there are certainly things about TV production that I did not know. So I had to talk to a lot of folks who are currently working on television shows about timelines, about budgets, about chain of commands. I wanted to make sure I had all the titles of everyone correct, what really gets discussed in the production office as you're figuring out how shows get budgeted and produced, and sort of little bits and pieces of information. Like, a lot of people don't realize that in a television series, a number of the episodes are directed by different people. So I had to kind of figure out how many directors was I going to introduce in the book as we went episode to episode. So a lot of little bits and pieces about television production. Partly I hope I've written a relatable character who is struggling with a sense of failure and imposter syndrome and kind of figuring out how to bounce back from a position where people tell her she's not good enough, she's really questioning her value, especially as a creative artist, but also as a romantic interest in her own story. Does she deserve a love story? So I hope there's a kind of sense of relatability about who she is and what she deserves, and a sort of joy in that celebration that yes, even if you have failed at one thing, you can succeed as another. I also hope readers take away more of an understanding of the world of costumes and costume design. I think costumers often get depicted in fiction as the characters who wish they were actors if only they had enough confidence to be actors or enough skill to be actors and they were willing to step out on a stage. But a lot of us, myself included of course, I like being a costumer. It's what I want to do. It's not if I gained a little more confidence I could be an actor. I'm doing exactly what I love to do. So I hope people also get a sense of what the world is and what goes on behind the screen. I have a follow-up romance that is also a standalone, that is not in the same world. That is a friends to lovers story, which is very much my wheelhouse. I feel like I write those better than I write enemies to lovers. I love the background that friends who've known each other forever know, and then they've got to kind of decide, do they risk that to start a romance with each other? There's also a hint of magic. There's a character who predicts the future, so she can also put curses on people and sort of say, here's some things that are or are not ever going to happen in your life. So then the characters have to wrestle with, is that true? Is that real? Do we self-impose our own curses? What happens when somebody tells us something can't happen? Do we push back against that or not? So it's a sweet friends to lovers romance set in a world with just a hint of magic for the reader.